On Monday night in college basketball, Houston played Iowa State. At halftime, it was 43-40, but Houston won an 18-4 run and took the lead by 10. But there was about 7 minutes to go, and Iowa State came storming back. In fact, they would take a lead and get out on for good and win 70-67. If Houston wants to win the national championship, as they are ranked number 2 and went to the national championship last year, they're going to need to hold on to big leads. Final score was 70-67. Kansas State wins over Baylor, who is not a very good team, but at all rate, they won. And Kansas State has had a struggling year as they fired Jerome Tang a couple days ago. We talked about that, or we'll talk about that now, and who the future coach could be. Kansas State wins last night by a final score of 90-74. Baylor is 13-13. The Kansas State is 11-15. PJ Haggerty has a good night with 34 and helps Kansas State, and Kansas State shows why they still have potential, but have had a terrible year this year. Again, Jerome Tang was fired on Sunday. Kansas State could hire would be Brad Underwood, although this seems like a long shot, and I don't know why you would leave Illinois, who is currently 8th in the country. These names are according to the Wichita Eagle. Josh Schultz is a St. Louis coach. He'll be the hottest name in college basketball cycling. So you would then, although Kansas State is early in the hiring part, Kansas State. Jared Calhoun at Utah seems like the most realistic. Calhoun is a son of Jim Calhoun, who won 3 national championships at Connecticut. He building a team at Youngstown NCAA tournament in his first year last year at Utah State. I think this would be a good hire for State. Obviously, he has to be willing to go to Kansas State, which is in a world of hurt, to be quite honest, for a big national program. Today, I heard that now that likeness is such a big part of the game, on Sports Radio 810, will Kansas State retain the money to get the big time recruits? That is yet to be seen. John Gross of Akron is another coach that could do it. He's a former Illinois coach. He is now at Akron after 5 seasons of leading the Fighting Illini, where he wasn't terrible, but not up to the Illinois standards. The Zips have won 20 more games in the last 5 seasons, and 3 of the 4 have been to the NCAA tournament. So he is a possible name. Also, Eric Olson, New Mexico, rising quickly. He is in his first season at New Mexico, where the Lobs are 19-6. He coming into his 12th year stint at UC Santa Barbara. He coached them, though they're a Division II school. He would have to make the transition to it into a big Division I school. He has made the NCAA tournament and is expected to make it this year. Casey Alexandria has been one of the mid-majors coaches for a while. He had led the Lipscombs to the NCAA tournament, announces an A&IT runner-up, finishing before moving to Belmont, where he have won 20 or more games in all of his 7 seasons in Nashville. Ben Jacobs, Northern Iowa. I I've always think this would be a good hire. Another Missouri Valley Conference. Jacobs hasn't been at Northern Iowa for feels like forever. He enters his 20th season, and with UNI, which he led the Panthers for 4 NCAA tournaments, and I would like to see where that would be gone. He would be one of my main guys, honestly, but I don't know if that's just seeing him do such a good job at Northern Iowa when I was at SIU, but I think he would be a good hire. Brett Ballard Washburn, I have no idea who he is. He could travel down the street or down the road to be the next coach. Billboard has been the Washburn ranked. He is in the 9th season with Washburn and is coming in this season at 30-4, which Washburn is a Division II Final Four contender. This would be a big move up through the ranks. I think this is a stretch for Kansas State, but we'll see. And Texas Tech goes out and loses to Arizona State. And Texas Tech toughest news was not that they lost. It was that All-American JT Toplin suffered a season-ending injury, torn ACL, right knee. Tuesday night loss to Arizona State. Final score was 72-67, but perhaps a lost season now for Texas Tech as they lose their All-American. Kansas will play Oklahoma State tonight on the road. Kansas should grab this one. The Cowboys are 4-8 and likely to miss the tournament. This would be a big upset for Oklahoma State, and honestly, I don't see it. Darian Peterson is a player to watch out for the Jayhawks. He has missed a lot of the season. His play becomes in question every time they play, but he should play. Floyd Badunga, forward center, chips in about 15 points a game. Players to watch out for Oklahoma State is Anthony Roy. Make sure you have Peacock if you're a Jayhawks fan, because that's where it will be. Even if you don't agree, the game should be on Peacock, and I don't really going to argue with that. But I'll take the Jayhawks 75-65. The Jayhawks are favored by 5.5, 6.5. Game time is at 8. Mizzou will have a tough one tonight. This could be one of their toughest matchups of the season. This game could get back into the tournament talks, though, for the Tigers. Currently, Missouri sits as the first team out in the NCAA tournament. Players to watch out for: Mizzou's Mark Mitchell and Jaden Stone are usually productive players. Vanderbilt's best player is Talon Tanner. He gets 18 a game. The line is about 6.5 points. Tyler Tanner is a player to watch out for Vanderbilt. And Illinois will play USC tonight. Player to watch out for Illinois is Keaton Wagler, the Shawnee Mission North kid. Shawnee, Kansas is a player to watch out for Illinois. He averages 18 points, about 19 points a game. This game tips at 9 p.m. SALU has unfortunate news last night as SALU number 18 falls 81-76. SALU just loses their second game of the season. Rhode Island wins at home. They are 15-11 on the season. BYU play Arizona at home. BYU had some unfortunate news this last weekend as Richie Sanders has been lost for the rest of this due to an ACL injury. He lost. That was against Colorado. He averaged 18 points a game and one is the key. BYU will rely on A.J. DeBunsa for the rest of the season. He could be the number 2 pick in the NBA draft. Players to watch out for Arizona is Braden Burries. Arizona is number 4 and is coming off a tough week, losing 2 games in a row, the Jayhawks and Texas Tech. But those teams are both in better shape than BYU. This game tips at 8 o'clock. Also, Arkansas, number 20, 19-6, will play Alabama, 18-7. Players to watch out for: Darius Okoff for Arkansas. He averages 21 points a game. and is 14th in the nation. Also, LeBron Philsing is 21.3. He is 13th in the nation. So two very good players. That game tips at 6 on ESPN. Patrick Mahomes restructures his deal to help the Chiefs. $54 million over the cap, dropped down to 11 after reports of releasing Jawan Taylor. That is according to ESPN, and the Chiefs also back up Patrick Mahomes' deal, but still remain under contract for 2031. That is according to ESPN. Rashee Rice gets more bad news as his former girlfriend is asking for $1 million in lawsuits. That's according to ChatGPT and many other reports. He is allegedly abused in the relationship, seeking towards $1 million. Rice needs to keep his ass out of trouble. That's all I've got to say. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Tomorrow we'll transfer into the AL Central Division, and all of that and more. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report.